Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Avowed with me, BringItDon. Of course, the whole city's revealed, so I don't know where I've actually explored. Please go no further. Stop where you are. The Castell family laboratory is closed to the public and hazardous to life. Nothing in here is worth dying for. There's no research or renown to be discovered, only a danger we still do not understand, which may yet linger even in the absence of life. It is important that you understand my parents were the greatest animancers who ever lived, and they did not leave this place the way they entered. What happened to them can happen to you. Giatta. That sounds like a quest. Notes on a prototype. This parchment is slightly singed, as if someone held it over a fire and considered burning it. We made a breakthrough. For the first time, the device successfully gathered essence into the Adra core. I credit the interlocking rings, a design our colleague took from ruins across the sea. She believes the rings pull essence out of the surroundings, as wind currents pull dust or pollen. Though I am troubled by what this implies. When we use animancy to mimic a natural process, we get better results. Why? Ecology of the Living Lands by Arthur Castell. No one can explain why the living lands naturally grows and thrives in an unnatural manner. We've seen plant life consume mountains overnight, creatures tall enough to knock over mighty trees, and beneath it all, a potent river of wild essence. Civilization has not found a stable foothold in the living lands. Whenever we try, there is some reprisal, almost as if the island knows how to shrug us off. Possibly due to the voice in our head.
Careful, or we'll get thrown out of the pub.
We're already thrown out.
Really? Huh. And when did that happen?
Can't say as I remember.
You, my friend, need some water.
Journal of Valencio Casanueva. Among animatic notes and scribbles is a brief excerpt that catches the attention. I've gained much in my latest initiative, and I've enjoyed myself despite my misgivings. Still, soon will come the day when I no longer need court either of them, and I do long to return to my sweet solitude. Until then, however, I must work. While Senia's work remains inscrutably meticulous, I have liberated the innovations I feel would be most beneficial to my own goals. And while I bristle at Asalia's continued frivolity, her insights under the influence of drink have proven that her notes contain value I could not find elsewhere. It could be said that neither deserves the ill that I am doing to them, but I argue that both will benefit by seeing their work brought to light, even if credit is never received where it is due.
One job, and I couldn't even do that.
Pour you a drink, good like?
The crops are ruined.
Can anything be done?
Bly thinks I ought to give up farming, leave Emerald stare.
And the animancers are useless. You heard them arguing out there.
Mindless academics, the whole lot of them.
Welcome back, on. Well, I'll be a godlike in the bone and bore. Apologies for the ruckus outside. The animancers never know when to shut their mouths.
But what are they arguing about?
Our crop yield. The governor thinks we've just had a bad season, but the Coelici and the Giatta figure differently. They are the only animancers taking the Dream Scourge seriously.
Not taking the Dream Scourge seriously is a mistake.
Try telling that to Vidaro and the Animancers. But the rest of us, we've all heard the rumors from outside. Animals gone mad, terrors stalking the wilderness day and night.
The stories are true. I've seen the Dream Scourge myself.
Birth's bells, of course. If Emerald Stair runs out of food, we are in dire straits anyway. We've had crops fail before, but never food rations. The governor says it's just a temporary precaution, but I am not buying it. So, we ought to drink while we can. Agreed? Anything I can get you?
Tell me about the bone and boar.
What are you fixing to know?
I'd like a little history about the place.
I opened the place after my brother cut me out of the family business years ago. I opened the Bone and Boar for all the customers he found undesirable. The rough types.
What was the family business?
In a word, tea. My parents were the first owners of the gifted magpie. Mom was an animancer, and the pa wasn't. They fought constantly. Because of that, my brother Hector hates conflict. It's ruined the magpie's business.
How so?
Visit the magpie and talk to him. You'll see what I mean. Now, is there anything else I can get you?
What have you got for sale? Lockpicks.
What did... Back again? What?
Why don't animancers typically come here?
Because I don't go out of my way for them. Yeah, they're a finicky bunch. My clientele is more grounded. Works hard. They don't put on airs. I like to keep it that way.
Interesting. Thanks for humoring me.
Of course. Anything else you fancy? Suit yourself. Come anytime.
Alright. Let's get a quest.
Look out for her, Fidelio. How hard could that have been?
You need to sober up.
I'm not drunk. I'm worried. And who are you to bother me anyway? I don't mean that. I have a lot on my plate.
A burden shared is a burden lifted, you know.
Well, I suppose the worst I can do at this point is waste your time. I'm Fidelio, Lieutenant Fidelio Sarat. I lead one of our ranger outfits. At least, for now, it is.
Fior is in trouble if it can't support its rangers anymore.
Are you kidding? They need us now more than ever. It's why we're stretched so thin. We were helping with the recovery effort until we hit a snag. My two youngest rangers were supposed to report back from their rounds. I assumed they'd turn up. But it's been 3 days now. They're still not here.
They've disappeared before, haven't they?
3 times this month. They're going to be the death of me. They're besotted. I can't get them to think about anything else. Belena and Adalaro were my most promising recruits. Now, all they do is sneak off to,
Screw each other?
Oh, fine. Get right to it then.
Well, there's worse places to make the four-legged beast. I promise you that.
New recruits running off with each other? Oh man, this brings me back.
Anyway, I never thought I had any cause for concern. They always found their way back eventually, but they haven't this time. They're out there, all alone, and they could be in danger, and
You don't have to explain yourself. I'd be worried about my charges too.
The last time I saw them, I sent them to patrol the northern riverbed. If you go that way, please, keep an eye out for them. I'm losing my mind in here. Please tell me you found them.
When I do, you'll be the first to know.
What could have drawn them that deep into the woods? All right. Come straight to me when you found them.
Ado! Welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
Yeah. Yeah.
Invitation to drinks. Giatta. Once our patrol is over, a few of the rangers are grabbing drinks at the Bone and Boar. Would you care to join us? Of course, I understand if you're busy again. The offer still stands. It doesn't even have to be with the other rangers. It could just be the two of us, sitting and talking. When I've said too much, you get the idea. Best of luck with your experiments, Masoni. Letter from a friend. Giatta, are you well? Ever since I moved away, I hear only rumors about what happens inside the walls of Fior Iverno, and the rumors alone are cause for concern. They say you've been starting fights with the governor, stirring unrest at the workshop, turning animancers against each other. I adore you too much to believe such nonsense, most of it anyway. Allow me to give you a word of advice. There's a pattern to this behavior, even if you think there isn't. You believe that your ambitions are being held back, so you hold them back further by alienating everyone in reach, and thus prove your own point. Trust me, I know from experience, as did your mother. Be careful you don't hurt yourself in the crusade to be proven right. Come and visit me sometime. Put aside your worries and clear your mind. Silvo misses you. Ilia. Well, Silvo's not missing anybody anymore. Giatta's journal. This crop shortage is a perfect opportunity to test my family's research. But of course I'm getting nowhere with Ignacy. There's a town wrapped around his little finger. Sorry, he. I think I said she. You think a community of free-thinking animancers would embrace a little innovation. But no. Not even to save their lives. What would Mother have done? I suppose I don't need to ask. Perhaps I could succeed where she failed. As soon as I gather the courage to enter the lab. Someday. Just not today. The Metaphysical Frontier by Cordelia Castell. Nature as we know it is ours. We dam its rivers, we cut down its forests. But the metaphysical world, the nature next door, that is the true prize. When we can break the spirit world like a stubborn horse, the possibilities are endless. Today we grow crops, tomorrow souls. So I'm thinking Giatta's last name is going to be Castell. Letter. Darling, wish you could have joined me this time. I understand Vidaro needs his hands held at the best of times, let alone during the onset of a famine, but still. Ruin's a little more beautiful with you here to explain things to. Of course, you can't join me now, even if Vidaro's suddenly grown competent. I've explored this ruin thoroughly, and I'm sure the locals are sick of me by now. So don't mess with me too much, my dear. I'll be home soon. Yatsley. Small book. The reduced size of this book indicates that it was made for the hands of kith smaller than you. Despite this, the book is still easy enough to read. An old faded bookmark denotes a favorite passage. With the sound of heavy footfalls approaching and then moving past Cordwin's hideaway, he couldn't help but smile affectionately. His lover had never been very observant, so it was no surprise that the dwarf had missed the hidden entrance despite Cordwin's instructions. The young Orlin, diminutive even among his own people, leaned forward and poked his head out between the curtains. His voice was an amused whisper as he called out, "Vansar, down here." Cordwin stifled a laugh as Vansar jumped in surprise at the voice behind him. The dwarf's annoyance quickly faded into an amused acceptance as he saw the delight clear as day on his Orlin paramour's face. "Wait to, Cordwin. You nearly scared me straight into Bareth's realm." Cordwin rolled his eyes at the exaggeration and quickly darted back into his hideaway. Moments later, Vansar's grunts heralded his entrance into Cordwin's small den. It was a cozy little place, tucked into the outer walls of the city, full of pillows and a single dim lantern turned down low. Cordwin gave Vansar a small kiss on the cheek once the dwarf had finished squeezing his way into the den. "I'm sorry about the shock, really," Cordwin said, "but seeing you jump like that was pretty funny. Anyway, what do you think? Not a bad place to hide, huh?" Vansar looked around thoughtfully. He couldn't help but begrudgingly admit that it was a cozy little place to pass an evening. Not that he'd say as much to Cordwin, of course. Instead, he simply shrugged. "Oh, don't be such a stick in the mud, Vansar," Cordwin teased. "Guess I'll just have to prove how nice of a hideout it is, huh?" Without waiting for a response, Cordwin dove at Vansar, catching him by surprise and tackling him to the ground. As their lips met, an Orlin fur entwined with dwarven beard, the pair felt truly home. Alright, Dustline note. Gathered supplies, 5 days rations, 3 disinfectants, 1 large canvas bag, 2 steel daggers, 1 pistol, 4 bullets. Still need set of disarming tools, 3 lockpicks, more if possible. You've been breaking too many lately. Spare change of clothes. A fat bottle of celebratory wine bought with all the money you're going to make on this. A backbone so you finally make the gosh darn trip to the Tusks. Edict of Subsistence. Ordered the governor's will in office, all greens, fruits, and grain of the earth are to be rationed by Fior's proper authority, effective immediately. These temporary measures shall be in place until further notice. Any attempts at subversion shall be swiftly dealt with. Ignacy Vidaro, Belsavant of Emerald Stair.
Empty again.
Seems that way.
Vidaro says the current crop looks promising, though.
How can he know that? He's not a farmer.
Be patient. He hasn't steered us wrong before.
Letter. The apothecary's shop. Martin, please apologize to your customers for the delay in sending this order. I'm afraid we can only send half of what you requested. The arbor yield in Emerald Stair is less than I'd hoped this season for quality medicinals and tinctures. I hope this shipment suffices for the time being. Sincerely, Abrit, Poria, and Velino.
Oh, you startled me. This old woman can get lost in prayer from time to time. You must be the Adiran envoy I've been hearing about. Apologies for any hardships you may have experienced getting here. The failing crops, the strange beasts, and even the dream scourge are all the result of our neglect of the dead.
What prayer were you reciting just now?
I was calling on the spirits of the recently dead to follow the guidance of Bareth, god of death. I am asking the spirits to forgive us for our negligence and continue on their way without anger. The dead of Fior expect certain rituals to be carried out. I have failed to perform those rituals, and now the spirits are angry.
Are you referring to the old Valian custom of offering fresh food for the recently dead?
That's exactly it! Well done! I have always observed it, and I brought it with me when I came to Fior. Our recent dead require a final meal to ease their passage from life. Without it, they can't rejoin the cycle.
You've got people waiting in line for their next meal, and you want to waste food on the dead?
I got food from the grain merchant stores. I just need someone to leave it at the graves. The dead will take it from there.
Flesh and bone. They bring the fruit to those who cannot eat. What tree calls for its branches to endure these rituals?
It seems like a waste of food when the rest of town is starving.
I had to take the food. The fate of Fior depends on it. I know Elena would understand how important it is to pay tribute to the dead.
I believe this ritual is carried out more for the grieving survivors than for the spirits of the dead.
The ritual heals all. The spirits get one more taste of life, and the living get to offer one last gift to the dead.
What do you need us to do?
You must take these offerings of food and place them at 3 grave sites where the recently dead lay. The first offering goes to a cliffside grave on the southern coast.
Whose bodies rest there?
Loggers from the old days. They sacrificed themselves to make the land habitable and lost their lives to creatures of the untamed forest. The second offering goes to a grave in the swamp, far to the west from here.
And the third?
The final offering should be taken to the truffle farm east of Fior, where a family lost their lives to the encroaching wilds.
What can you tell me about this final grave? I forgot to ask about the second one.
Such a tragedy. A young family lost their lives there as the wilds encroached, swallowed before they could even flee.
Maybe this will help you find some peace as well.
That is the least of my worries. But yes, bringing closure to the recent dead will finally allow me a good night's sleep. I can't thank you enough for helping to ease the conscience of an old lady. Please, return when the rituals are complete. You return? Have you visited all 3 grave sites?
I haven't left your eyesight. We're not done placing the offerings yet.
I must beg you to treat this with some urgency. The dead never tire in their anguish. Remember, the sinkhole lies southeast of Fior, while the watchtower and the truffle farm lie to the east.
I might speak to the grain merchant about the stolen food. That seems like the actual right thing to do.
I am not accustomed to failure.
Ugh, neither am I. But it happens to the best of us, no? They made up their minds before we even started. It's okay. We'll try again.
But it's the third time.
You know how it is. Their standards are impossible. It isn't personal.
Of course it's personal. It's the Animonsters workshop.
I have a research background. Perhaps I can help.
I'm not sure our work is quite ready for peer review.
Maybe we need some feedback on our proposal.
Using essence to cure male flaccidity is uncharted territory. I'm sure of our thesis.
You would use essence on something as trivial as that.
I assure you, for many people, this is not trivial. For many, this is a matter of health and self-image.
We treat this important issue with the utmost respect, even down to the proposal's title.
What do you think of this? Boning without bones, essence and the performativity of male anatomy.
Consider this. From stick to stone, using essence to augment male performance.
I suggest erecting the future, the burgeoning science of manomancy.
That's brilliant, huh? Simply brilliant.
We've done it again.
Wait until they read this. The days of packing rope are at an end. All we needed was a title. You may have saved our careers.
A good title is half the battle.
Rejection letter. Thank you for your humble application to the Animancer's workshop of Fior Iverno. We regret to inform you that admittance cannot be granted at this time. While your proposal on using Aja implements to siphon essence to specific genital features of male anatomy was certainly unexpected, we suggest you reconsider your suggestions for practical application. Sincerely, is it Perry? Quilici, Animancer's workshop. Well, I'll be. Alright. So I don't know what all I've explored. I kind of got lost exploring. Well, we haven't been here yet.
Healing crystals, purest in all of Eora.
What else to get? What else to get?
Rejuvenate and revitalize your personal essence.
They do such lovely work here, don't they? Hang on. I know you from Solace, right? I'm afraid I don't know who you are. Just as you don't know who I am. You're blessed mad. I remember you. I gotcha. So, we understand each other then. I never thought the world of animancy could be so varied and fascinating. I can make use of so much of this equipment.
So you're a Pargroon. I heard your people didn't travel outside of Gallowayne's tusks.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit unusual to see one of my people about. But I'm here on important business. If you see anyone else from Sole's Keep, just do me a favor and don't tell them you saw me.
I'll keep your secret.
Thank you. I wouldn't want my fellow wardens to misunderstand. But we still don't even know why you're here. You know what I mean. And Marius, it was good to see you. May you find all you're looking for and more. Please be discreet. Please don't tell anyone you saw me here.
Felici's journal 2. The crop is ruined. There's no denying it now. Dreamscourge has come to Emerald Stair. Vidar insists on feigning ignorance. He wants to prevent panic. We're losing precious time. Lives could be lost. What's more, Giatta has become restless in Fior Iverno. I must remind myself that I once found myself aching for the promise of something greater. I can still hear Yatzli's voice that first night at Nakutedek. Our future is a blaze of risk. Isn't that wonderful? But this time I cannot run. Vidar cares little for animancy or legacy. His comfort is king. I keep asking myself what the point of all this is if we abandon animancy at the first sign of struggle. Felice's Journal 3. I fear the worst. For days now, Giatta and I pass the gates before sunrise to record the essence in Emerald Stair soil. The results are erratic and unpredictable. The crop, once green and plentiful, is wilted and smells of decay. The wildlife shows signs of strain. A bear emerged from hibernation months early, completely rabid. We found several sparrows fallen on the floor, dead without any sign of attack or cause, the symptom of a larger disease. Felice's Journal 1. Today, Talo approached me at the market, a bundle of greens in hand. At first glance, I thought his crops had withered with the usual rot, but upon further inspection, the mold shimmered with a strange gloss. I brought the bundle back to my shop for immediate testing. I've been here, and I believe we've been up here already. Yeah. Yes, we have.
Where do you go after death? The crystal knows. Ask it anything.
That's where we came in at. Alright, so we have made a kind of a full circle. There was that.
Is best for the Pargrunen, even if they don't see that yet.
There's a merchant up the stairs over here. Party note. The note is hastily scrawled, but radiates with love. LM. Hope this note finds you well. What an occasion despite the lackluster fruit. You always were the life of the party, despite your claims otherwise. I look forward to more antics soon. Till we meet again. FB.
Giatta, what's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now.
Alright, one moment.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amico. Well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble workshop. Are you in need of any weapons or armor? The roads haven't been safe as of late.
Do animancers have much use for weapons and armor?
Nay, not really. But not all of us in Fior are animancers, you know. Besides, humble craftsmen such as myself, we have the rangers to outfit. Under normal circumstances, I'd not sell to a traveler like yourself. But as I'm sure you've seen, these are not normal circumstances. Care to see what I have?
So you're not an animancer?
Officially no, but I have been known to dabble with essence infusion here and there. I have one such item for sale, actually. A beautiful maze made of star metal, crafted by the finest smiths of Solace Keep and enchanted by yours truly. It is a wonder to behold. Care to see?
Well, that further reinforces that this guy's not going to know how to craft star metal. Show me your wares. Alright, start by selling my junk to him. Way to sell exceptional gear, that's exciting. Lodestone. So Tremor, Power Attacks deal low stun to nearby enemies, and greater stunning plus 20% stun. Well, that sounds perfect for me. This blocky gilded mace is a prime example of Pargroon artistry at work. Though the weight distribution of the weapon takes a bit of time at first to get used to, there's no denying that the oversized head of the mace is brutally effective. The solid star metal core of the weapon causes it to strike with a meteoric force that few creatures can stand firm against. I could go back to a Mason's shield. We've got the money. And now we don't.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
I haven't invested into anything that's build limiting yet, so. Apprentice Animancer's Diary. 7th of Terestu. I've finally done it. I'm studying at the academy. My dreams come true. The equipment here far exceeds anything available to me at home. And the knowledge. My colleagues are also brilliant. One has even offered me a great boon. Ollie says he has a way of enchanting one's trousers to elevate one's performance in the bedroom. He says it's still experimental, and I mustn't tell anybody, but he promises results. Perhaps I shall find a lover for keeps within this bastion of animancy and kindness. 12th of Terestu. I'm confounded. My colleagues snicker as I pass. Their laughter is undeniable. I do not understand. Have I committed some great faux pas? Hopefully they can forgive my ignorance. 15th of Terestu. To do. Formulate plan to retrieve pants from atop Monto's animancy machine. Formulate plan to reclaim my honor. Exact revenge upon Ollie. Perhaps try the essence enlarger offered in the town square.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
Well, I think I've explored everything.
How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike?
O'Donnell at your service.
Charmed. Forgive me for staring. It's just, we don't see many of your kind anymore.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion.
Private discussion? You're arguing in the middle of town.
We have Giatta to thank for that.
As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now our farms.
That's why I'm here. Perhaps an animancer can help me stop it.
Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did.
I thought animancers leapt at bold experimentation.
They do. And that's the kind of reckless behavior I'm trying to avoid.
Reckless is all we have time for. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Giatta from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark.
She's the one taking all the risks here.
You must be unfamiliar with animancy. There's always collateral damage. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart.
What was that about your family's basement?
It's nothing. Our governor is backed into a corner and lashing out. I almost respect him for it. Buy me a drink sometime, and I'll tell you all about my family's basement.
Deal. First, we should take care of the Dream Scourge.
I thought you'd never ask. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giatta.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Iverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast.
Alright, I think we've read this one before. Just in case we haven't, Ignacy Vidaro. Ignacy Vidaro is the governor of Fior Iverno, a city in the Emerald Stair region of the Living Lands. And Pere Quilici is an animancer from the Valiant Republics, one of the original founders of Fior Iverno. Having retreated from politics and research, he's taken on a new role as mentor and surrogate father to Giatta Castel. You're making a mistake.
Perhaps. But I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Iverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
Alright, well, I'm going to call it here. Next time we will explore the governor's mansion and then go meet with Giatta. At some point, I head back to camp to re-equip a shield to go with my new weapon. I like the idea of a stun build. Well, either way for now, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.